teacher accused of racism at a Northwest primary school wants her suspension lifted. Trade Union Solidarity and Laerskool Schweizer-Reneke teacher Elana Barkhuizen will hold a media briefing today. Tensions are running high in the town after a photo emerged showing black and white classmates seated separately. Now, armed private security guards were seen stationed at the school yesterday. eNCA's Masego Rahlaga is live in Schweizer-Reneke for us. She joins us now. Masego, just give us some background on where we are since we were following the story yesterday and when we are expecting that joint media briefing to kick off.
Well, Michelle, the school is quiet. It looks like things are sort of back to normal, although there is still that private security that we saw here yesterday. The SGB, according to the Education Department, says the SGB at any school is allowed to take such decisions on hiring whomever they want to hire to protect school premises, although firearms will not be allowed. So that's the update in terms of the school today. Classes are back to normal, although there's very few pupils who have come for class today or who have been dropped off by their parents for class today. In terms of that press briefing by the teacher, it's expected to happen in Johannesburg around midday today. That teacher is expected to argue that she was suspended unfairly because she apparently is not the teacher that separated the pupils. She is the person who actually took that picture and shared it on the WhatsApp group consisting of the parents of those pupils in grade R. So that's what we're expecting her to argue in terms of her suspension. She feels it wasn't fair. Although she did take the picture, she wasn't the one who took the decision that the pupils should sit at separate places in the classroom according to their race. So that's the update from here. Fairly quiet, things back to normal. Not entirely back to normal in terms of the classes because the pupils, there's only a few of them who've come for class today, just like yesterday. But the Education Department, along with the SGB, told us yesterday that they are communicating with parents to ask them to please let their children come to school because things are back to normal.
Now, Masego, that investigation by the Education Department in the Northwest Province is continuing. A number of issues that still need to be ironed out at the school. I suppose chief among them, whether this was a once-off incident or whether this is the way things are done at Laerskool Schweizer-Reneke. And of course, in the midst of all of that, tensions in the town itself also running high.
That's correct, Michelle. Well, according to what the MEC told the media last week, he said that he would be releasing a report into the investigation today, sometime today, later on, to let everyone know what it is that his department officials found. They did rope in the South African Human Rights Commission, of course, and it's quite obvious from that name what they are investigating. They will obviously be investigating whether or not the rights of these pupils were infringed upon in terms of whether they are black, white or any other race. So that investigation we're expecting to come out. The other thing that they're going to iron out in terms of the school is that the education officials, the education department officials that are here are expected to let the principal know, or rather let the MEC know whether the principal should also be suspended or if he should keep his position, especially with the fact that the MEC was unhappy with the fact that all of the teachers at Laerskool Schweizer-Reneke are white. So he said there is obviously a problem of transformation at the school. But in terms of, the community and the racism, the alleged racism around the community, Michelle, what we heard from one person who is a supporter of the EFF, he was one of the people who were here last week when tensions were still high at the school. He was speaking to the media quite frequently, and my colleague Govan Whittles was here. And what he told us over the phone, Michelle, was actually quite scary. He says that yesterday his friend and himself were driving to his house, and there were two white men that he saw at the school last week who approached him and said they were in the area and they were thinking of going in his house to say hi, and they asked him that is part of their investigation into whether or not saying hello is racist. And he says he told them, look, saying hello is not racist, but we're not friends. I don't know you, how you got to my house, how you know where I live, and you coming to my house when we're not friends to say hi is what is suspicious. He says this happened at around 1 o'clock yesterday afternoon, and he says at around 7 p.m. him and the same friend were driving around town to get some food from the shops, and the same two men were following them, and that's when he took the decision to flee the town. Actually, he couldn't tell us where he is, obviously for his own safety, but he says to us that is what happened to him yesterday. So the situation quite tense among the community. It's not just the school, it seems, Michelle. It looks like there is quite a huge problem here in Schweizer-Reneke.
Yeah, it does appear that that investigation will extend much further than Laerskool Schweizer-Reneke itself. Our reporter Masego Rahlaga is tracking that story for us from the Northwest Province, and of course, as she's been explaining, that joint media briefing between Solidarity and the suspended teacher from Laerskool Schweizer-Reneke